All of them, a bunch of people around you are all whispering. People are kind of looking at the mirror on the wall and looking back, and they recognize Roxy and Baz, and so a few of them are just like, oh, what happened over there? He must have done something bad. Like, they all are just like, no one's paying mind to the fact that you're freaking out like, she just hit me.
He's like, what are laws? I don't know.
We have to help him. We have to go find Gaz. He's in danger. Real
But if
bad.
you want to go walk off into the past or wherever, the door is right over there.
We know where the last place... We know where the witch lived that we left him with. The druid.
Druid.
You believe it's...
Yeah, but-
yeah. I mean, it could be a witch or a druid. Depends on, like, what you see as magic. Yeah.
We have to find her and figure out why he's in that area.
I agree, despite your outburst.
Thank you, Baz. I suppose some people won't just punch people for no reason.
And you need to read up on your history.
You need to stop punching people.
He's in danger. You're just ignoring the fact that he's in danger.
He's in danger. I got punched.
In the grand scheme of things, I think he's a lot more important to me than you.
I don't know. I'm right here, and he's could be in the past, super dead.
I think Roxy's gonna faint it this time, but make it look like she's about to hit him again, and then just walk off.
Okay.
Like she's gonna go ahead to the druid.
All right. Roll me a deception.
Okay. Nat 20.
Yeah. Topher, you totally think she's gonna hit you again. And then she doesn't. You're kind of
I
like
get ready
wince.
to cast shield and just
Oh,
stand there, but he backs out, so me.
Yeah. And as Roxy's walking away, and Baz and you are still sitting at the table, roll me 3 1d10,000s.
That'll show her.
3 more for Topher, please. What's the worst that could happen? And this is from Aurora. Thank you, Aurora.
This is not Tover's day.
This is not. 2. Okay.
2 of those are low.
Like the first couple, I felt bad for him, but now I don't because he's not concerned about Gaz.
So, write this down for yourself. The next person to see your reflection will attack you immediately.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Ooh, this is neat. Write this down as a feature for your character. You are immune to cold-based attacks while you're blindfolded.
That's strangely specific.
Yeah, it's a very kinky one or something. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing blindfolded
Sicko
with
bought that one up.
ice.
I mean, I guess it's a positive.
And this is a thing that is just something that will emanate around you, which is anyone near you wielding a missile weapon is accurately nearsighted. Acutely, sorry, not accurately. Acutely.
Well, it's a good thing we're not rangers.
Yeah.
Or
So
any of us
if
using
like
a
Varys
ranged
was
weapon.
here or anything like that.
Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Yeah. All right. So, Roxy's walking away. What are the other 2 of you gonna do?
I think Boz will follow.
Does he try to get Tover to come with?
Uh,
You know where Roxy's headed. It is not going to be an easy feat.
He probably says, if you would still like to, you may join us. Just perhaps keep your
Walking to the
distance from
pass, it just seems like a fool's errand to me, Baz. You understand? There are actual people who we know need our help here. Dangers happening every day. The children are still missing, and we're supposed to go traipsing off to someone who could possibly be perfectly all right. And he's miles away.
Last we saw him, he was near here.
About 2 days journey, 3 days journey maybe.
Well, if it's that close, he can just come back here. Nothing seemed to be stopping him.
A contract was signed. We needed to help one of our own, Uthal. And without even reading the contract, Gaz signed himself away. He was taken. We don't know what became of him. I think we owe him this much. And he's a strong fighter. He could help us with dealing with this encroaching forest. I won't force you to go.
Good point, but I'm not like terribly keen on traveling with someone who just punched me for no reason. I mean, there's enough mad women just generally about.
Oh, good thing Roxy's not there.
Yeah, that would have been a guiding bolt to the face. That would have been a guiding bolt.
You may need to learn how to speak to commoners a little better if you're going to survive here, Tover.
I mean, I guess so.
But
do you think she'll learn how to speak to nobles and, not punch them? Speaking is quite the skill. She should learn to practice it.
she has a temper. But
Don't
she's
say.
young. I think she has time to learn. If you would like to come with us, you can just stand behind me. She won't try to punch through me.
I guess it is the way to show that I am the better man. So, yes, I will come with you.
I
love Toper. He's such like a cocky dick. It's like, oh god.
I love him. I love him, but I also like.
That's what I built it to do.
You're doing it beautifully.
All right, and it looks like you both follow, and go out the door. And as you do, you can see Roxy quite a bit ahead of you all. Baz maybe shouts out to her, and she allows you to catch up, and you all walk together. Meanwhile, we pan back over. The sky is filled with beautiful stars. And old Mr. Frodo, I got your thing. I'll use it soon, TM. The sky is filled with stars, and there's a battle ensuing. Two sides. Orcs and elves, primarily. Looks like some of them have their various alliances. And Gaz, you were in the middle of speaking to someone. An elf. And he slowly started fading away and not there anymore.
This place is so odd.
Yeah, in the center of the battlefield, you see slowly the ground starts rumbling, and a pedestal rises in the center.
I walk up and inspect it.
As you start walking forward towards the pedestal in the center, you hear horns going off. The beat of a drum starts pounding on the other side, and you see the orcs on one side plummeting towards you, the bears grappling into the ground and dirt flinging from them as they're pouncing towards you. The wolves the same on the one side of you. And on the left, you see horses, and you can hear the pounding of their feet hitting the ground together, almost like a beat of its own, along with the horns that are going off in your ear. And you just feel the tension between the two sides coming towards you. But you're concentrated on the pedestal, and you walk forward towards it. When you get to the pedestal, what's your plan? You walk over to it, and it is just a pedestal in the middle. You hear the loud sounds of the battle coming towards you.
Is there anything on it? How high up does it go?
It goes up to where your chest is, but there's nothing on it.
I'll climb up on it and survey the land.
You can't climb on it. It's pretty thin. So it's basically what it looks like is a crystal that is formed up in the ground, and it's probably, I don't know, like 2 inches wide and 2 inches thick. It's just like this little pedestal that has come up.
I'll poke my head around it and put my hand on the top of it.
As you put your hand on the top of it, everything freezes around you.
I hold it there and look around for anything still moving or making a sound.
Nothing moves. The beat of the drums to your right stop. The pouncing and scratching of the ground from the creatures stops. To the left of you, the horns that were going off stop. The horses pounding the ground with their hooves stops. It's complete silence. And you just sit there. You stand there with your hand on the pedestal.
I raise my hand for a really quick second, then I put it back down. Does it
As you
like
raise
all
your
snap
hand,
into motion and then stop
the battle comes. You hear again the sounds of drums, the sounds of people running. You hear the sounds of the horns going off. You hear the battle coming closer to you. And then immediately when you put your hand back down, everything freezes again.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Angel. I got it.
My inventory.
Oh no.
I will put my pack of rations
Breaking up.
on the pedestal real fast and see if that works.
Yeah,
Can you
you
hear
put your. Yeah, you were breaking up. We hear you, but yeah, you put your rations on, and immediately everything starts coming towards you again. You hear the sounds. You immediately put your hand back down?
Yes, yeah. I mean, that didn't work.
Yeah, you
My hand
immediately
back
put your hand back down.
I will stand here and wait with my hand held like this for like hours and see if
Okay.
anything happens.
As you stand there holding the pedestal, after about an hour, your hand slowly transforms and it looks like a bear. And you can slowly see the fur on you, and you're now like a young adult bear. And you are holding the pedestal, and you have your hand on it, and around you the battle is still frozen. And you've been standing here for an hour, so you've gotten to see like the expressions on the faces of these orcs. You can see the elves on the other side. And as you get a better look at these elves, it kind of does look like the fellow that was standing next to you. And what is going on in Gaz's head? What is he thinking?
Gaz is wondering what the spirit of the bear wants him to do at this point. As he's turning into a bear, he's trying to figure out what this is a test of his ability to do. And his two theories are right now holding on to this pillar for days at a time, or at least until he turns all the way into a bear, or letting go of it and sprinting at full barbarian speed out of the way of these two battle lines that are about to crash into each other. He's also wondering if he had to pick a side in the fight, which would you pick? And he can't decide.
Interesting. So he's debating what to do.
Yes.
But
has decided for now to hold on to the pillar for a little while longer.
Yeah, and as you hold onto the pillar, you hear the voice again in your head. And for viewers back home, if you just are tuning in, this is actually the sound of a bear roaring at him in his head. But for us, we're going to have it be an old lady, because in her human form, that's what she is. And you hear this voice again saying,
Interesting. What is it, Gal? What should you do? Who is right? Who is wrong?
I do not know. But I wish that these two would not slaughter one another, for I have seen what I believe is the future of this catastrophe. And so I shall hold on to this pillar for as long as it takes.
Good. Patience. Patience is important, young one. For your path may be able to be taken care of by your brute strength in some times, and others with swift action and wisdom. But sometimes it is simply just patience that matters.
slowly the voice fades away. And you stand there holding onto this pedestal for what feels like days, weeks. Roll me a Constitution save.
A noble 12.
Sometimes you have to swap your paw to your other paw because it's getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just like swapping between them. Sometimes you put your foot up and you have like your back paw on it. Like you're just trying to find all these creative ways to keep yourself, you know, up against it and on this pedestal. And you do this for what almost feels like an eternity. We pan back over to the other group as they are entering what looks like a mausoleum. There we go. Why is that word hard to say? It's this little white building that's in the middle of the forest, Tover, for you. You've traveled through the forest. It's kind of creepy and dark. And finally, you see this white mausoleum. The door is a little hinged. Oh no, the door's like on the ground. I think someone bashed it open last time. And there's inside of it what looks like a grave. Like where you would keep a dead body. Like a sarcophagus, basically. Similar to what you were in previously. And you see, I'm guessing, Baz probably lifting it up and sliding it over.
Yeah.
And once he slides this over, you see a staircase that goes down. It's not where you would keep a dead body. It's actually a hidden door.
That's strange. Why is that there?
There is a druid that lives here, and she's the one that Gaz signed the contract with. And I've also signed a contract, but I do not know what the deal between me and her is.
Well, this seems like an excellent moment to find out then. After you.
Indeed. Of course. Roxy just goes down.
Yeah, you all go down, and you've been down here before. You know that there are traps. You know the directions, so instead of going right, you go left, and you make your way down that way. You continue a bit longer, and then you take a right, and then you see what used to be gargoyles scattered across the ground in pieces. There's little pedestals inside of like the wall where there's like torches, and as you walk, the torches light up in this area, and the crevices in the wall look like they once held something. If you're looking at it and you're looking around, you would know that maybe there were gargoyles once on those pedestals, but now they are scattered across the ground. Ahead of you is a door. It's shut. It looks homely. It's in the shape of like a half circle, and there's a little doorknob, and the door itself is wooden, whereas everything else that you have been surrounded by has been like this interesting stone and very earthy, with bits of like grass and moss growing through and cracking through.
I think Roxy is actually gonna like kind of that half like nice, half kind of like impatient knocking where it's just like that rapid but not yeah.
You knock on the wooden door, and it almost sounds like it's echoing throughout the area that you're in as well as inside. Nothing happens.
Kind of looks over at Baz and Trover, just like, I really don't want to upset her or anything, but she has gas. Should we keep trying, or kind of just goes over and knocks again, just a little bit more aggressively, probably.
Yeah, you knock on it more aggressively. Doesn't look like you wait a little bit. No one's coming to the door. You don't hear footprints. You don't hear anyone saying anything. Paladin, you now have a natty 1, thanks to Angel
Yay.
Ray. So note that on your sheet. The next
row is gonna be a 1.
So add a resource, and the next roll will be a natty 1. Thank you, Angel, for the $10. I know Angel and old Mr. Frodo. I have other things from you. I know. Yeah, you look back at Tover and Baz. Do either of you respond as like Roxy's kind of looking at you a little helpless?
What's the problem?
No one's answering. Like, no one's here. It's the only place that I know of that she would be at.
As you say that, Roxy, you get 3 natural 20s. And that's from Angel Ray.
Yay. Thanks, Angel. Appreciate you, my dude.
Or not 3, 2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
No, 3. You have 3. Sorry.
Oh.
You get the 3. I'm doing math wrong. She wrote 2, but I think it's supposed to be 3.
He.
Or he, sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry, Angel.
So was the door open?
I'm not, you follow Baz, I'm not just gonna bust down the door.
I'm
Sorry, Baz.
I'm saying
Yeah,
check
Baz
if
gives
the
you a look
door
like-
is open, not break it.
I guess she'll try to open it.
Yeah. You turn the knob, and the door does open. It creaks
Hey, there
open,
we
and you
go.
hear a light creak, like. And as you get to a certain point, it kind of stops, and then you have to push it more. It's like when the door is warped or the ground is warped, and so like you have to kind of scrape the door across the floor to really open it any further. In order for you both, or in order for anyone to get through.
Well, who wants to go in first?
You do.
Oh, rude.
While they say that, Baz just kind of pushes through.
Yeah. As Tover says those lines, you do, and Baz pushes forward. Tover, roll me 2 1d10,000s, and these are from old Mr. Frodo.
Oh, that's
Oh, they're low.
relatively low. That's good.
Oh, this is actually
Potentially.
like a really good one for you. Write this down as a feature that you have. You are now immune to non-magical charm-based effects.
Huh.
Kind of a nice
So
one.
wait,
People
can
being
no one
proud.
seduce him?
Nope.
I guess.
Immune.
Tover
Oh.
the unseducible.
This is another feature that you have now. You are going to routinely forget to draw a weapon before attacking, which you're a caster, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Forget the cast spell, so you just put up fisticuffs.
In this case, it'll be you routinely forget like regions that you need. You're like, oh man, I need the, whatever the region is that you need. You routinely forget that you need it in your case.
Well, that's why we have sorcery points and meta magic that says I don't need it.
Yeah, or
Right.
we can reword it. It's basically like you're gonna forget to attack sometimes. Like you're gonna forget what you need to attack. Like you forget the words of a spell or forget like that kind of thing. So maybe we will roll something for that. Yeah. As you walk forward into the room. As you walk into the room, it looks the same way you all left it. There's a desk that has little bits and bobs on it. It looks like scrolls, some parchment, some quills, and ink. There's a bunch of shelves with knickknacks on them. There's a little bed that looks like it's very tidied up. There's a chest that has, you don't know what's in the chest, but there's a chest at the foot of the bed. There's
I opened that chest.
Oh
you're
my
not in
god.
the room yet. There's a painting to the left with a young woman with a blue cloak on. Looks very similar to the, a woman that you've maybe seen before if any of you have seen a woman with a blue cloak, and a little clasp on her neck. And next to her is the old lady, if you've seen the old lady before. And the two of them are kind of like close together, so it looks like there's a painting was made of them both. And that is what you see when you walk in. It's what you remember from last time.
I think Roxy's gonna immediately try to look around for a small bear, because that's what she was last time. If I
Well, does
remember
Baz say
correctly.
anything? Because Baz went in first.
He probably just walks in. I guess he looks for the little bear, because definitely remembers that.
You don't see a little bear, but roll me a investigation.
It's a 20.
All right. Yeah, you look around and now you're searching, and as you're searching, all of you are welcome to come into the room.
Roxy will
take
probably
a
go
minute, look
next.
around, see the chest, and I walk over to the chest and try to open it.
Roxy's gonna stop
You try to
him.
open the chest, but it's locked. You immediately
Oh,
can
well.
tell that it's locked. And Baz, when you're searching around for stuff, you don't find a bear. You don't find you're looking for that little bear. You don't see it.
So, I guess I'll maybe look at the parchment, see if there's anything written there, because wasn't there like a note last time?
Yeah. With the 20, totally, you look at the parchment. There are a couple envelopes that are already sealed that are sitting there. They're like stacked up. There is one, if you open the drawers, there is another letter inside of a drawer that's on, the seal is taken off of it. And it's on top of a bundle of letters that looks like it's tied up, and it's on top of it. There's not one that's like in mid-writing this time.
I suppose since the bear's not here, he might look at that open letter.
Yeah, you read the open letter, and the letter kind of reads as if it's like, it sounds like a grandmother talking to a granddaughter. And the letter kind of reads as if they're just telling them about their day and what they're doing. And it's all very, it seems, what would you call it? Like mundane, very normal. Like,
I baked a cake last night and it was delicious. Your Uncle Fred said that it was amazing. And that I should maybe present it in the pie or the cake and pie contest next year that Rosa has. And like it's written like that, like very much like an old lady writing off like her mundane day to someone else that seems like possibly her granddaughter.
Bless her.
What are the, like, I assume that they signed the letters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are the names on the letters?
So the letter is to, it says dearest, and the name is not there, but it says dearest J. And the signature on it is actually not a signature of a like name. It's a small paw print. And when you look around with your 20, you see a stamp. You're looking around and you see a stamp next to the seal, and that stamp is, you open the end of it and you look inside, and looks very similar, like a little bear paw. You put it back on. You put it back on the table.
I think that Boz takes one of the blank pieces of parchment and he puts a stamp on that and then folds it up and puts it in his pocket.
Okay. Yeah, you take the stamp part and you find like the ink, the thing that you put the stamp on. You put it in that and you put it on the envelope, and then you put it back and you roll it up.
Yeah.
And then you pocket it. Yeah, totally, no problem. I'm gonna move over to Tover. You wanted to open the chest, and I think Roxy wanted to stop you. So you immediately walk in the room and you see the chest and you walk over to the chest. You try to open it and you're kind of jiggling at the thing and there's a lock on it.
Unfortunate.
What are you doing?
I was hoping there'd be clothes in there, but maybe there will be some, scattered around the house.
There's an old lady lives here, and you're just gonna steal from an old lady.
I was going to leave money. You do remember that I'm naked under this illusion, right?
I wish I forgot, but...
Anyway, do you
The
see
vision
any
of
clothes,
him
blankets,
fully naked is there in your
scarf?
mind again.
But, well, regardless, don't just steal from an old lady. Even if you were gonna leave money.
If I leave money, then it's just, aggressive salesmanship. But first there has to be something for me to borrow. So is there like a coat or a blanket or something?
You do see a blanket on the bed. The bed is
Yeah,
nice and tidied. It's
that seems a
interesting
little
because
much.
the bed itself, when you look over at the bed, because you're by the chest, it's at the foot of the bed. The bed is made out of like this really beautiful wood, and it has little engravings and carvings on it. And the bed itself, with the blankets and stuff on it, like the material looks kind of almost very, very natural. And it's like a quilt. It looks like little pieces of different bits and pieces that have been sewed together. And each little cloak part looks like it tells a story of some sort. And there's little like yarn nobbins that are at the edges where like it was sewn in the little holes. And the pillows are all different. Like one is yellow and has little flowers on it. The other one, and it looks just like cloth with like a bunch of like cottons shoved inside of them. Like they're very homemade looking pillows. And they're all different shapes and sizes. And there's probably like 10 pillows there. They're all different sizes and shapes, and they're all different colors and materials. So it doesn't look like nothing matches.
Messing with her bed seems a little much, so that's a boundary I'm not going to cross.
Oh, you're willing to steal from a chest, but not mess up someone's bed.
Yes, that's rude. I check under the bed.
The bed is like there's no under the bed unless you want to like lift the bed up, because it's not. It's like it's really low to the ground. It's almost like it's
No, it's
it doesn't
fine.
have anything under it.
So you might be storing things there. Okay, so I walk back into the rest of the anything like a coat somewhere or.
What I've described is all you see in this room.
So no. Okay. Well, too bad.
The lady's a druid. Chances are she's not going to have anything worth of value to you. Let alone your
I'm
gold
not
be
looking for
worth anything.
value. I'm looking for clothes.
Well, leaving her gold isn't exactly going to help her much either. If she lives off the land, she's not going to use gold.
She might. Everyone likes nice things. She could buy like expensive soap, or, have her home redecorated.
As you all are having this conversation, we're gonna pan back over to where Gaz is.
Oh, my aching paw.
Yeah, your paw's aching. You're getting tired. What is Gaz thinking in his mind?
Having been so encouraged by the bear shaman, he's thinking that now he just needs to grit his bare teeth and hold on to this thing until he passes the test. He's also thinking he really wants a glass of water and a potty break, but now is not the time.
yeah. He's totally thinking those things as he's standing there. And it's almost, for you, it feels like you've been there for years. You're kind of getting sick of the way that the creatures are looking at you, and sometimes when you blink, you swear one of them moved, and then you have a moment of like where you like nod your head and you lift your head back up, like you're trying very hard. And I would like you to roll me one more Constitution save.
17.
With that, you slowly start moving forward as the pedestal disappears, and it's almost like you're falling again. But as you put your paw down on the ground, it's solid. And at first you close your eyes to blink. It's almost like your eyelids are really heavy, so you like, because you're tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you lift open your eyes again, and now you are at the edge of a lake. There's a huge lake in front of you, and the water is crystally, and you can see your reflection in the water, and you're a large, dire bear. You're looking down.
So thirsty. I lap up some of the
water.
crystally water with my dire bear tongue.
Yeah, you lap up some of the water around you. The grass around you is like a teal color almost. And little bits of mushrooms are popping out of the ground, and they're all white and glowy, and they kind of like sparkle. It's almost like they're bringing this like light into the space that you're in, and you're inside of a cave. And you're lapping up this water.
Once I've had a good gallon of water or so, or at least what that feels like, I'll root around the cave and sniff for living things.
Yeah, as you lift your head up from drinking the water, you sniff around. And in front of you, in the center of the cave, above the water, something starts floating down. And you see a tiny little glint of light, and it sits on top of the water, and it floats, hovering above the water. And it slowly starts transforming, and it's like a swirl of lights that are dancing about, until it's the form of a large dire bear.
BIRDDDSPOONBULLBBBMMAAANNNN.
Thank you, Rage Strike, for the 52 months of support to the Space Vikings. Bird Spoon Bullman. Thank you so much. Get some Maghives and Maglos in chat for Rage. Bad timing, though. And the bear spirit forms from that. And it looks like the old lady that you saw before.
I roar a greeting.
Yeah, you say hello. And she stands before you, very elegant and almost very different than what you saw before. She looks regal almost, confident. And you hear in your head the roaring of a bear again, but we're gonna speak in the old lady voice.
You have done well, young cub.
Thank you. I followed the spirit of the bear and my own heart.
What do you feel you have learned on this journey?
To survive your challenges, I needed to show strength, and then generosity and wisdom, and then patience. I have learned all these things are within me.
And how will you use them?
I will use them in defense of the weak and the service of the bear.
How do you tell when someone is weak?
I'm not sure. I suppose I just know, as when I saw the young cub of my first trial.
Trust your instinct. They will lead you.
Yes.
And so will I. For I am everywhere, young cub. I am the grass you stand upon, the water you lap. I am the sun that shines through the sky, piercing through the trees. I am the moon that shows you the way at night. And I am the trail that will lead you home.
I make a barely bow on my front two legs.
Yeah, you make your gesture. Just out of curiosity, roll me a performance.
Be the dancing bear you were born to be.
Just fist.
Yeah, you bow. It's it's what you feel as a formal bow, but it's weird being in this huge bear form. You maybe
Yes.
you don't do it so elegantly.
Also, I was basically a wild animal even when I was a regular person, so courtly mannerisms are forced at best.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to see what you would roll, because it would be interesting.
Play the time.
Yeah, and you see kind of a smile on the bear's face, and you feel as the bear kind of slowly disappears, and the glowing light comes towards you and slowly spins and swirls, and you're watching it as it's coming closer to you, and you're like moving your head around, and it goes into where your heart would be, slowly floats, And you feel this rush of warmth all around you and inside your skin. And slowly you transform. And you look down into the water. And you see your half-orc self. But there's something different about you. There's one piece of the beast that still exists. What is it? What part of you still looks bare?
I now have a brown corona on the back of my head, whereas once I was bald and my ears are like fluffy and rounded. And you wouldn't necessarily know
It
that
kind of looks
was
like a hat,
fur.
almost.
It kind of looks like a hat, but it more natural than that. People who know me before now I have like bare hair where I used to be a cue ball. But the ears are definitely distinctive. They look like teddy bear ears almost.
Yeah, so
Oh.
now like the back half, like your head here, like the front has like a little bit of fur, and the back of your crown of your head is all bare. So your ears are
It's
bare
all
ears.
just like
Yeah.
thick brown hair, and I have bare ears.
Yeah, and but your face is still like a half orc with your tusks and everything. Yeah, I love it. I told him that there was going to be one thing that would change, and I would give him the choice of what that would be. But he also gained a full level for that trial as like a bonus thing. So he's a level 6 barbarian druid. And yeah, as you look down into the water, you see this change in yourself, and it doesn't disappear. That's what you look like. And then to the right of you, you hear a rumble. And there is a tunnel that slowly opens up and makes way.
I stride through confidently.
Yeah, you walk through confidently. And the three of you that are in the room, roll me perception check.
20.
20.
Same.
Tover, can't hear you.
Natural 1.
Oh yeah, if you guys can type those in chat so people can see what that will also help. So just write nat 1, nat 20. Also make sure you mark those on your sheets if you had them, remove them. And yeah, so for Roxy and Baz, you both hear something under the rug. Sounds like footsteps walking on stone. Tover, you are just looking at that blanket like, gosh, why couldn't it be made out of like fabric that is not disgustingly ugly? Like you're
Also
just
not on the bed and just, gift wrapped. Sitting there.
yeah. And Gaz, you get to the top, and there is a like what looks like a handle and a latch, and you push it up. And the two of you kind of like back up as in the center of the room, and Tover at this point sees it too, but you don't catch it as quickly. You see the rug below slowly move up, and out pops Gaz's head.
Oh, hello.
Gaz?
Hello again, my friends. Oh, it's all of you.
Hey, you're the bear. Well, looks like we found you.
And you are the elf with no arms.
Yes, indeed, and now they're back, thanks to you.
Ah. Thanks to the spirit of the bear and her magical fruit. Well, perhaps both of us.
What are you
I wouldn't
doing
know about
under
that.
there?
The two of
That
you
is
hear them having this conversation, and you're like, what? And then also like, I guess maybe he was right? He had no arms? What? Like,
The spirit of the bear sent me on her trials. There were 3. I believe I passed them.
All by yourself?
No, not at all. I needed your assistance for the second. Although I suppose the first and the third were my own work. In the first, I came to the rescue of a cub. And in the third, I held on to a pedestal until a great battle around me did not occur. There were orcs and wolves and elves crashing down all around me, and I was sure they would sweep me away in their tide of destruction. But so long as I endured, it never would happen.
And actually, you're all thinking about the battle you were talking about before, and you don't remember it the same way. All of a sudden, you remember the battle being stopped. Something kept the elves in their lands and allowed the bears and the druids to keep their forest and revive it. And something about that seems interesting to you all. And everyone here can roll me a history or a nature check. I'll allow either of those.
That's a good roll.
Tover gets a nat 1. Is that what I'm seeing?
No,
no?
no.
That was-
the history
Okay,
check is
Tover gets
fine.
a 16. Gaz gets a 6. Nat 20 from Roxy. Baz, are you rolling?
Actually, I think he isn't, because he has that one wild magic effect where his memories, he thinks that some of them have been altered.
I love it. Yeah. He's thinking about it and something's not right. But he's also like, whatever it is, that's not real. So we'll start with Gaz and what you know. Gaz, you know what you saw, what you remember. That's all. You don't know about history or how the history changed. In fact, you don't know about those lands because you weren't alive then. You were, that was your ancestors.
Yeah, I
before
didn't
you.
even know that was real. I
Yeah.
thought that was all just magic.
Yeah. Tover, the 16, you actually remember that story that the other two were telling before, and you remembered it before in the sense of like the elves won. But now you're remembering and you're like, no, we didn't win. Something stopped it. Something stopped the orcs from coming. It wasn't you. It wasn't the elven kin. It wasn't your allies. Something else made them go away. It was a weird day in your ancestors' history where battle sounds were resounded in the lands, and they were prepared to fight, but it didn't happen because the orcs stopped. And the elves stopped. But you don't remember why. Roxy,
Like what?
you remember the story and the tales that you've heard. You remember that there was someone who convinced both sides that they were both wrong for different reasons. And the battle never happened that day. There was a treaty signed. The orcs would stay in their lands, the elves would stay in theirs. There was a line that was drawn, and no one would cross those territories. And if you did, you were subject to the laws of those lands.
Interesting. Well, whatever.
Did
ahead.
history change? Because in the first set, the elves won and they were fighting for resources, which they now don't have. How did that change the development of elven culture?
Ooh, yeah. The elves and the orcs had to work together. So from your history, what you know is there were some trades that happened and trade routes that were built. And elves were allowed in those lands, but they had to follow the rules of the orc lands. And so there was a large tax. There was money that had to be exchanged between the two. But you were able to get wood to build your houses, but it just took a lot longer because how the orcs were regulating it is in order to keep the lands fed, right? So they had like a bunch of trees that were built, and these ones were allowed to be chopped down, and these ones were needed to grow, and so they would alternate like the areas in the forest that were allowed to be harvested every year. So it took a lot longer for you all to build your houses, but you were still able to build them, and they were glorious and gorgeous as the elven lands that you remember from when you used to live there, or from now that you live there now, and for many, many generations until yours was born.
Well, close enough. Still happened. Guess that's all that matters.
I like how Stan's like, hey, we're not so bad. I know the orcs get bad rep. In my world, the orcs are very different. I mean, they still do terrible things, but for their own reasons. They feel like they're doing the right thing. I think that's the thing with evil, right? I feel like sometimes people in certain campaigns or worlds create evil that's like evil for evil purposes, right? Sometimes people do evil things for good reasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What they perceive as good could be perceived as evil to others.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that question that you asked, though. That's cool. I'll leave you to the room where you all are back together. Coming to this realization of history, whereas Baz is like, someone's fucked with my head.
Yeah, I think Baz is looking at his rank insignia again. It's like kind of, he remembers this is real. This is why he has this.
Mm-hmm.
So it just, helps him kind of keep on to some of the reality there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I help you out of the hole, clean you up with prestidigitation. Say, well, we came to help you. Yes, this one thought you wouldn't be able to complete all these tasks and make your way back here without aid. Clearly, she was wrong.
But you just don't point out to someone and then be like, "Oh, by the way, they're in the middle of a war zone," and then just make it sound like that.
Roxy, I am grateful that you came for me, even if I was able to get out by myself. Perhaps it was your coming that ended the battle. I don't know how that realm worked.
It's highly likely. I saw it. It looked fake. Who knows what ended it? You know, passing sparrow, us, the moon. Could be anything.
Could have been.
Anyway, let's make our way back before the person who lives here comes back, because doubtless she would not appreciate us in her home.
For you guys, everything was very real.
It looked real, and it felt real, but it seemed a little unrealistic.
Thank you, Scraticus, for the wonderful raid, and welcome all of y'all. The Academy. Everything just keeps bleeding. I would love to hear the story of why that is your raid shout. But thank you all.
Oh God!
Welcome.
We are raising money for the kids at St Jude. If you look to the right of me, exclamation point St Jude. You can affect the game by donating each of these different amounts, making sure that you let me know which player you would like the amount to go to, so that I know. And if you choose the natty 1 or 20, you have to tell me which one you're giving as well. But thank you. Welcome, y'all. And over here to the left of me, maybe the right of your screen, is how much we've raised already, which is an insane amount of money. Our goal is $25,000. So we are going to do this until we reach that amount. And then we're going to do a lot of days of crazy milestones because we've already reached a bunch of them. So I think during Thanksgiving time, I have a bunch of time off and I'll be doing that. So here's the thing. We normally end at 10. I'm just curious if you guys are all cool with that or if you'd like to continue a little longer.
I would probably vote to stop now because I've got to be up and going at it in about 7 hours.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, we'll do... So thank you, Scrap, for the wonderful raid, but I was just letting you know. Normally we do this from 7 to 10, so we will do our final scene here with you all role-playing as you are leaving the cave, but I'll let you guys all talk your way out of it. Continue, sorry.
Tover, Baz, Roxy. I'm different now. You can see. I pointed to my barriers.
Oh yeah.
To complete the trial of the bear, I vowed to use my new powers in defense of the defenseless. I have met all three of you now before, and I do not believe that will be an obstacle to our continued friendship. But I will let you know now as we continue forward. If we encounter the weak, I am sworn to be the strong one for them. Now,
Well, I am a noble and thus completely incapable of taking care of myself. So you can count me among the people you will have to protect. Because I don't know how to fight to save my life.
Roxy gives Tover a dirty look.
You're already one magical pair in my debt, my good man. You can make it up to me at the tavern. I still love mead.
I can give you this good berry. Eh?
Thank you. I did take some wounds in the trial, so I'll pop that good berry. If I still am down those hit points, I'll just eat
I
Yeah.
can also cure you. Just
Yeah.
up.
Take the good berry and yeah, you're still down those hit points. You did not
You're welcome.
get rid of those. Rainy, thank you so much for the wonderful host. For those of you who are coming in from Rainy's stream, I hope you had a wonderful stream. To the right of me, we are currently raising money for the kids at St Jude. If you do exclamation point St Jude, you can see all the ways that you can affect our game. Make sure that you let me know who you'd like those things to go to before donating. And if you do the natty 1 or natty 20, make sure you tell me which one you're providing. We are coming close to the end of our campaign today, so but thank you so much still for the host. I really, really appreciate it. So you got 10 HP? Or 14?
That's weird. That's just weird how the thing did this.
What?
I'm supposed to roll, I think, 3d8, but I don't think it did.
It did
To heal was-
1d8 plus 2 charisma, so it rolled.
That's one cure. So I guess
Okay.
triple it?
Yeah, so roll it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's so
Yes, that
weird.
works.
Oh, and then the top thing says 1 times 2d8.
Strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's one more, and
Think- Roll 20's porking.
one more. So that's what you get. That's 22.
Oh, no, it's 14. It's 14. So if you hover over it, it shows it's 1. You rolled a 1 and a 3. So it's 1 times.
Ah.
So you rolled
Alright.
2d8 at the top, and the bottom one was the 1d8 plus a charisma modifier. Because you don't get the charisma modifier for all of them. So it's yeah, it's 14.
That makes
You got
sense.
14 HP.
14.
But I think that should
That's
cover
good.
you, right?
That's good.
Close.
That gets me to 59 out of 63, so that's good enough for government work for a guy who has resistance to everything but psychic damage.
Well, other people can heal you up too if you need more heals. So you can just tell them that you still feel wounded.
How tall is Gaz again?
He's like a solid 5'4" now. You're pretty sure he got 2 or 3 inches taller in the bear realm.
Okay, so he's just a bit taller than Roxy. Okay. Because I think Roxy is like going to try to get him the motion to lean over because she wants to like touch his barriers.
Oh sure.
She just wants to see if they're like real. So she'll like kind of go up and like touch his ears.
Yeah, she touches your ears and it feels like it's touching
Guys
your
will
ears.
rumble over there, and
The ears kind
it
of twitch a
looks
little.
even walking now. Having seen him walk before and after, he sort of ambles a little bit and moves his shoulders a lot and ducks his head over, and they're fuzzy barriers. There's no headband or stitches or anything. They are
They're
coming out of his
super
head.
soft.
I think
Those
she just
bad-
goes at it. She goes at it for probably a bit longer than necessary, unless you get her to stop.
It probably feels good.
Yeah.
Do they replace your normal
I
ears?
chuckle, a deep basso chuckle for a moment. Oh yeah, my regular ears are gone.
Yeah, his regular ears are gone. These are his new ears that he hears from now.
Yes. They're adorable little barriers.
Yeah,
Just
I told
have
him
to
he could
touch 'em.
choose what it was. I'm like, but there's something about the beast that will still stay with you. You'll get to choose what it is. I like that that's what you chose. That's cute.
It's adorable. I love it.
I guess as far as physical changes go, that's not too bad. It's sort of cute.
It's really cute.
If
I bear
Roxy,
the mark proudly.
If Roxy ever stops touching his ears, Boz will walk over and hold his hand out.
Gaz shakes Boz's hand with a strong, manly pump. It's actually a strong, barely pump.
I think Boz does that thing where he pulls you into like the shoulder hug thing.
Oh yeah. As soon as Boz starts the pull, Gaz starts to pull back, and there's just like a bone crunching pull handshake.
Like the orc.
But after
bro,
a second of that,
orc hug.
Gaz will take a step forward and let himself get the man patted. It's like the Carl Weathers Arnold Schwarzenegger meme.
Yeah.
Half orc paladin, half orc druid barbarian.
Just
I love it.
ow.
And as we have the two orcs embrace each other in the very orc fashion, Tover looking over at them and Roxy looking up over at Gaz's ears, that we pan out of the cave and we come up into the sky and we see the two moons up in the sky on different sides of the sky. You see a large creature
Hail, Space Viking.
flying into the sky, floating above it. Wings spread, and a burst of fire comes flying forward. And that is where we will leave it for the end of tonight. With one more thing. I'm gonna actually have Tova roll me a 1d4. You have had many wild magics today. Now you get to choose who gets the wild magic next. And that is going to be Roxy. Roxy, roll me a 1d10,000, and this is for Rage Strike. Rage Strike actually said the next person to roll initiative rolls for wild magic instead, but we did not have a initiative combat go forward, so. I won't remember, so I want to make sure that I'm making good on my things.
Fair enough.
All right, let's see what this is.
We have our nice reunion, and then Roxy explodes.
Please no. Enough of that has already
Ooh.
happened to her.
This is kind of
Before
cool.
me.
Keep this as a feature on your character. The next 1d4 attacks on you automatically inflict minimum damage. So roll me a 1d4 now.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah.
All right. The next attack on you, write that down. The next attack on you automatically inflicts minimum damage.
Nice. I'll take it.
Yeah. So thank you all for the amazing donations today. I will read out again who all donated, and big thank yous to all of you. But also I want to give everyone here at this table who has donated their time and volunteered it to be able to say a little bit about who they are and where you can find them at, and of course their favorite moment from tonight's campaign. And then we will wrap things up. So thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. And if you'd like to watch again, we're actually going to take a couple weeks of a break because next week is our vocalist, where I get to do some voice acting over on Arvin Elron's channel. I think we're playing a new game because we found one that is more roleplay heavy. And then the 30th, we were doing Spooktober stuff for Space Viking Spooktacular, where we were playing scary games, and you can watch me poop my pants, I don't know. And then the 6th we'll be back to do more SVK4KIDS, so definitely tune into that one. We'll see who will all be able to tune into that, but I'll let you guys know. Basically this is a persistent world where we have different cast every week and a different story every week, but we have an overarching world, so the world itself stays persistent, and everything that everyone does in the world affects the world around, which has been really cool. I loved this one because I knew this one was going to be very interesting. So we'll start off as I normally do, clockwise, we'll go with Tover, aka Paladin. Hulk, Paladin, tell us where people can find you at, and of course your favorite moment from tonight.
Hi everybody, I'm Paladin Hulk. My favorite moment, well, there was a lot of them to choose from. This entire episode was just bonkers and great. I think my favorite moment was seriously considering dying rather than going naked again. That was pretty fun. Like, nope,
How often does that
I
happen to
would
someone's
rather
character?
die. Like, that's not a choice you get to make very often. And you can, of course, find me as a moderator in Twitch for Roll For It, Geek Space TV, and Random Tuesday. And all around the Discords. I love so much playing here, and I'm really pumped at how much money we've raised for kids today and every other day. So
A lot of it revolved around you, so thank you, Paladin, for being the target
Good
of
stuff,
wild
guys.
magic.
it's good stuff.
Raised a
Tonight
lot
was
of money.
sacrifice.
Thanks, everybody. that donated.
Tonight was Paladin Bully Night.
Yeah. But for a good cause. And of course, moving on to our next one here, we have Standalone. Tell people where they can find you at, as well as what your favorite part of the night was.
Hey, I'm Standalone. You can find me at S_Delone on Twitter, and hanging out in the Space Vikings chat. This was a fun one. I liked being able to tell a little bit of Boz's backstory to Roxy, trying to let her know that it's okay to talk about things with Boz.
Hello.
I really did love that, because I think that's the first time that Boz's background has really come up in RP.
Yeah. I thought that'd be a good time to bring it up. And thanks to Paladin Hulk for being such a good sport about just wild magic just all over you. Tover's reactions are always golden.
I love
So
him
fucking good. All right, anything else for you, Stan?
I'll give my usual shout out to the Twitter account Blind Temple. He's a blind man that he does a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. He tweets about it a lot, and he does a lot of stuff to help blind people get into the hobby of role-playing games and all that. And also, he's a good person to talk to if you want to learn more about blindness and anything like that. He openly invites people to ask him questions about it, and you won't offend him. He's a cool guy. You should go give him a follow at Blind Temple.
Thank you, Stan. Of course, moving on to our next one here, we have the wonderful Gaz, aka Erwin, aka Fear the Boot. Tell us where people can find you at, as well as what your favorite moment of the campaign was tonight.
Sure. You can find me at feartheboot.com or on your favorite podcast aggregator. I go by John on there, which is my real name and fourth or fifth gamer name here on this channel. My favorite moment of the night was the second trial where Tover showed up and blew his arms off. That was an artful integration of raising money for cancer research and having a memorable random gaming moment that fit in quite well.
I try my best to make those wild magics make sense.
Oh no, it was perfect. Thank you for donating, whoever did that, and all other subscribers, donors, and Margaret for running. I know that running is the hardest part of doing this by far, and this was great.
An artful integration or an artful disintegration?
Yes.
Poor K no Listo.
Nice. I love it. And thank you so much, Erwin. We'll move on to our next one, of course, which is Roxy the Cleric, aka Endermancer, aka Tech Priest Khan. Where can people find you at, as well as what was your favorite night? What was your favorite night? What was your favorite moment tonight? I'm getting tired, man.
You can usually find me lurking in the Space Vikings channel or even Roll For It, but in Roll For It I'm not Tech Priest Can, Arcan, the Evermom friend. And my favorite moment that I honestly think just anything that involved Tober is honestly been my favorite, because I just love Tober so much. Roxy doesn't, but I love him as a person.
Well, you did slap him, so.
Yeah, no. So good,
And
though.
that's not how you make friends.
Not the first noble she's hit.
Ooh.
This is true. She doesn't. She has a. You have a running theme here of hitting nobles, actually.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. It's they just they apparently are just my clientele of just getting hit.
You slapped the clothes right off of him.
That did in fact happen.
She did, in fact, do that. Oh my god. All right, and of course I'm gonna let these chaps go so they'll be able to talk amongst themselves, but we will be doing a raid, so thank you all so much for joining us. A big thank you to all of the donators. We have Mighty Rick, E-Man Gons, Paladin Hulk himself over here, Aurora, and Angel Ray, and of course, last but not least, we have Rage Strike. I think I got everyone's name. If I missed someone, I'm sorry, but thank you so much for all the amazing donations. We have raised $9,600 for the kids at St. Jude. For those of you who don't know how St. Jude works, it basically, any kid that goes there for treatment does not pay a single dime. No parents pay a dime. They don't pay for their stay there. They don't pay for the food that they have. They don't pay for anything. Not a single dime during the time frame of their child's treatment. So they do amazing things, as well as they also share all of the research that they have with other countries and other hospitals, and they do their best to make sure that you know, we can help cure people all around the world, not only with cancer, but also, or child's cancer, pediatric cancer, I should say, as well as viruses and all of those types of things. They help with a lot of different stuff over there. So yeah. You're helping an amazing cause, and I, thank you all for donating your time for that. So we are going to wrap up here, but I will be doing a raid, so stay tuned if you're still sticking around, because we have to do our raid. It's always the best, most fun time. So thank you, gentlemen. I will chat with you all after this. All right. They are muted. And it is time for us to figure out where we want to go. Who should we host a now? We'll look it up. Hope you all enjoyed the campaign. This has been
before
really...
the buzzer, Mag Love.
Oh, thank you so much. Who was that? Thank you, Han Shadam. 24 months of support to the Space Viking fleet. Yes. Thank you. That's amazing. I think you just got your last set of horns. We're still on the list for more things, so stay tuned for that stuff. Let's find who else is playing Dungeons and Dragons. I always like to try to find somebody who isn't gonna expect all of the crazy love. Ooh, someone else is playing Curse of Strahd. Maybe we can go check out their campaign and see what they're up to. All right. We'll give them a raid. I've been finding new people, and it's always a lot of fun. So we are going to raid Fly Captain, see what they're all about. So join the raid. Get your ships prepared, everybody, as well as put those helmets on. Get them nice and locked in tight, because we going on a raid. So let's see. What do we want to say? We want to... We'll say Bear Power Unite. And we will do Mag Raid, Mag Pew Pew, and do Mag Rip as our thing. So, Raiders, prepare. Let's get the lasers out, get them ships, and we will be heading on over there. Spam that in their chat, and I will see you all on the other side tomorrow. We are playing a Lost Initiative show over on their channel. I will host it on here, as well as let you all know whenever I'm going live. We are going to be playing episode 1 of season 2 for Fated in the Stars. It's going to be freaking amazing. I'm so excited for it. Like, beyond excited. I'm loving my character Trig. If you guys didn't get to watch episode 0 where Delric and I's characters got introduced, and you got to see like the camaraderie between the two of us and kind of like our history, I think you're gonna really enjoy it, and I can't wait for us to meet the other 2 characters. It's gonna be so good. Plus, if you're a huge Star Wars fan, it's just like, it feels so much like Star Wars. All right, here we go. Raid commencing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.